All right, I think we're ready to get started. We're going to start this evening by announcing our players. Our first player I'd like to welcome tonight, throughout the regionals and the World Series tournaments, had 7 hits, 5 RBIs, scored a pair of runs, and through the World Series tournament held a batting average of .294. A utility player, number 0, Maddie Early. Throughout regional and World Series play, our next player batted .333, had an on-base percentage of .500. She had 6 hits, scored 2 runs. A utility player, number 24, Brooklyn Scraggs. Next up, she had 10 hits, scored 6 runs, and knocked down nearly every ball hitting her direction. She left the World Series tournament with an average of .476. Your shortstop, number 3, Lexi Black. During regional and World Series play, she had 8 plate appearances, batting .250, had 2 RBIs while scoring a run herself, a utility player, number 19, Gracie Rickman. During the World Series, our next player pitched 15 innings, threw 293 pitches, had 7 strikeouts. Done all this while batting .294. The pitcher, number 5, Alex Hill. Our next player was used as a pinch runner 8 times where she stole a handful of bases, all while scoring a pair of runs herself, hitting a double, a utility player, number 13, Peyton Dishman. She had 7 hits, scored 7 runs, hit a triple, and did not strike out in an entire World Series. All this while making multiple run-saving plays in center field. Our center fielder, number 2, Kate Spry. Throughout regional and World Series play, our next player had 15 hits, scored 16 runs, had a batting average of .429 and a .512 on-base percentage. The second baseman, number 11, Liddy Smith. During the regionals and World Series play, she had 17 hits, scored 21 runs, hit 4 doubles, batted .548 for the tournaments, and was chosen to the World Series All-Defensive Team, number 7, Mackenzie Dishman. She laid down 5 sacrifice bunts, had a double, 9 hits, 8 RBIs, had an on-base percentage of .400, and was an absolute beast behind the plate. She danced her way to the World Series All-Defensive Team, 00, Libby Saunders. During the World Series tournament, she pitched 32 innings, threw 565 pitches, and allowed 0 earned runs. 0. All while striking out 51 batters and held a batting average of .353, and also was chosen to the World Series All-Tournament Team. The pitcher, number 6, Madison Pitts. During the World Series tournament games, our next player had 14 hits, 17 RBIs, was intentionally walked 3 times and only had 1 strikeout. She hit 6 home runs, had a batting average of .700, an on-base percentage of .778, and I'll do my best to quote the TV announcer. There you go, bye-bye. I tell you, and I'll say it again, she's the most dangerous hitter in the tournament, without a doubt. She was chosen to the World Series All-Tournament Team, the third baseman, number 27, Skylar Lawrence. Let's give all these girls and coaches a round of applause. I found a few things in my life I'm half decent at, and this is not one of them, so bear with me as I try to get through this. Good evening and thank you to everyone for coming out this evening to welcome home the 2019 Ohio Valley Regional Champions and the 2019 Babe Ruth Series National Runner-Up. These 12 ladies have represented their families, Buffalo Youth Sports, their local community, the state of West Virginia, and the Ohio Valley region in a way that makes us all proud. First off tonight, I'd like to thank the girls and their families for trusting us to play softball at Buffalo. You have sacrificed your time, money, to be able to give these girls an experience that they will never forget. The stage that these girls just performed on, and under the pressure they played in, was incredible. But when the anxiety set in and the adrenaline was through the roof, they handled it brilliantly. Parents, I know you are all proud of your girls, and I personally want to thank each of you for what you've done for your kids. And girls, if you haven't said thank you to your parents and give them a big hug, you better be doing it. Secondly, I'd like to thank everyone involved in our league and our community who has been rooting on the girls from home, and you letting our community know how proud you are of them. The local businesses, neighbors, friends, and families who have made signs to welcome home our girls will never be forgotten. I even seen some pink flamingo and Easter egg decorations out there. That's the kind of stuff we all like to see. I know many of you are probably still in hot water with your bosses thanks to the live streaming games that we all got to enjoy. We'd also like to thank the Herald Dispatch, Wayne County News, WSAZ Channel 3 for their coverage of our girls. I'd also like to thank our awesome parents and players who are always so welcoming to new players and families each year. Our league grows each year, and that is by no mistake. The majority of leagues in surrounding areas seem to be getting smaller every year while ours continues to grow each year, and that is something that we should all be proud of. This year we was fortunate to send 4 teams to a regional tournament. 8U baseball, 12U baseball, 10U softball, which made it to the Final Four, and of course 12U softball. This evening with us we have Mike Stevens, who is the West Virginia State Baseball Commissioner. Mike has done more for Babe Ruth and Cal Ripken baseball in the last few years than anyone has in a long time, and we certainly appreciate his efforts. At this time, I think Mike has a few words that he'd like to say.
Well, I don't have a written script, as probably as good as what Tracy was, but anyway, man, what an accomplishment for the girls. As a commissioner for Babe Ruth Baseball, Inc., in the state of West Virginia, it's always a goal to send a team to a World Series. Just to get there is an accomplishment within itself. These girls, whether it's baseball, whether it's softball, they contribute a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of poise to be able to accomplish what these girls accomplished. And to you girls personally, as a past player, coach, and so forth, never had the opportunity to make it to where you made it to. You're one of some of the elite that never gets to the point that you got to this year. Making it one thing and playing for a national title is very, very, very impressive. It's something to cherish. Never let anybody take it away from you. Remember the moment, because it's a great, great moment for you. Like I say, we always, as a commissioner of West Virginia, we always try to get teams to make it that far, and it's just not that simple. And you got to go through a lot of adversity. Every level you get to, the competition gets that much stiffer, and it's not easy. Trust me, anybody that's involved in athletics, whether it's football, whatever it may be, it's not easy at all. It's very, very complicated to get to that point. So please cherish the moment. You did a great job. You should never hang your heads. Don't never let anybody take it away from you. You'll remember it 50 years down the road, and anybody in here that's ever played sports, that's ever got to a championship, you know that it's always something to cherish. And you've done a great, great, super job. And as far as Babe Ruth goes, in the future, we hope this is the beginning of a lot of things to come. There hasn't been anybody that's ever made it to a final game in the World Series, especially in softball. I think as far as baseball goes, we had a team from Huntington that won the Babe Ruth World Series in 1960. Since then, I don't think there's ever been another team that's made it to the finals in a World Series, whether it's boys or girls. Just to show you what type of company that you're in and what you achieve as individuals and as a team. That's a long time in between, and that's quite an accomplishment. So, but as Babe Ruth, we hope to have a lot of other things to come in the future. We got a lot of positive things going on. Thanks Tracy and his staff and his organization for the league and the program that they run out there. You guys are part of a program that's very successful. They've been around for years. They go back before Cal Ripken was ever endorsed for the little guys. It used to be Bambino. There may be some people in here that played back then with the Bambino leagues, but the program's strong. It's got a strong future. Babe Ruth we've done some things in the past 3 years that we're hoping to build on and even get stronger. Not only at softball, but in the baseball, and we have a program that we can offer kids to play up until they're 19 years old. And it's all about keeping the kids off the streets, making right decisions in life, and that's what we're about, and that's what we hope to spill into the kids' lives. And you know, as you go through the game of baseball, softball, whatever it may be, you can learn things in the game that you can take through the game of life. And hopefully, and I know your coaches have taught you some of that stuff, and it doesn't end here. Don't never think that you can't learn anything more. I learn something new every day of my life. And as long as you go in athletics, playing softball, whatever it may be, you will always learn something new. And if you keep that attitude, then you'll keep moving forward. But once again, girls, like I say, is honor it, cherish it. It's a great moment for you, for the community, and for the state, and I'm proud to be a part of the organization, and hope that we have some more to come. Thank you.
Lastly, I'd like to thank our coaches that we had this season for our softball division. When practice started back in March, it was very clear that the culture had changed. This season we had 7 teams, and it's needless to say that our competitive level has increased, and that is due to the hard work of our coaches and our girls have been putting in. I'd like to introduce the coaches and thank them for their leadership, determination, time, and money they spent in getting Buffalo to the World Series for the first time in league history. Jeremy Dishman. Jeremy is always the most positive guy on the field. No matter what happens on the field, he always finds something to applaud and encourage his team. With every great team, it has to be a positive coach. And with Jeremy in the dugout, you know that's going to happen. Anthony Dishman. Anthony has helped me out over the last year more than anyone can know, whether typing up season rosters at 3 o'clock in the morning while he's supposed to be working, to calling and waking him up at daylight to get the field ready from the rainstorm from the night before. He's definitely has been a lifesaver to me. I know the parents of this team greatly appreciate his efforts and the countless time he spent in scheduling, making phone calls, completing paperwork, fundraising, and all the other aggravating tasks it took to pull off both of these trips. I even texted him during the Claremont game and said, go over there and tell those announcers that we are not from Putnam County.
Wikipedia says we are, and go change Wikipedia.
We're gonna work on that.
I try.
But sure enough, 30 seconds later, I see him on camera handing down announcers a note. But needless to say, your help did not go unnoticed this year. Richie Clark, or as I like to call him, Baby Shark. Richie obviously loves the game of softball as well as anyone, and it shows on and off the field. Richie is one of the most fundamental coaches that I've had the pleasure of being around. Any good coach that wants to be a better coach is always watching other coaches around them to see how they handle themselves in certain situations. And I know I have learned and enjoyed watching Richie over the past few years. I also can attest that he is hands down the best dancer of any coach I know.
I still won.
Zane Smith. In the fall of 2017, I started getting texts from Zane about this idea for a tournament called Midnight Madness. So after a lot of thinking and discussions, we decided to plan for June of 2018. I told Zane that Buffalo would take care of the field and the concessions, and we would do it big. Well, we did just that, but little did I know that would turn into the start of something special. We instantly fell in love with the Diamond Dusters players, coaches, and their families. Then this winter, Zane came to me with another plan, or a dream. At the time, I wasn't sure which, but I now know it definitely was a plan. So long story short, after 2 Midnight Madness tournaments, a successful baseball tournament, a regular season, a regional tournament, and a World Series tournament, here we sit. So I'd personally like to thank you for your vision and your trust, not only in me, but also in Buffalo Youth Sports League. In closing, I again would like to applaud these young ladies and their coaches on their accomplishments and wish you the best of luck in your future. I'll leave you with a quote from Derek Jeter. There may be people that have more talent than you, but there's no excuse for anyone to work harder than you. So ladies, keep working, and the sky is definitely the limit. Now at this time, I'll turn it over to the coaches.
Okay, they're all too chicken to say anything, so I'll get up here and talk about the girls. When we first come out here to Buffalo, they were welcoming. I mean, they welcomed everybody that came out here, and that's rare that you find. The community, every one of you guys, you guys are so welcoming to everybody, and it's rare to find that. And I know once we got here and started playing and everything, I fell in love with the place. So I love it out here, and I'd like to stay out here. So coaching with these guys sometimes is a struggle, especially Zane in my ear. If you guys watched the tournaments, you saw him right here, constantly. He was always making suggestions and stuff like that. Sometimes I'd tell him, get away from me. Right now, get away. But sometimes I listened to him and it worked out. Each one of these girls contributed to everything. Everything we did, everything we asked them to do, they stepped up and done it. We would need a run here, need a run there. I looked at Skylar one time and I said, you hit a home run, this game's over. And she smacked one the very next pitch, and the game was over. Anthony got mad because Peyton was up to bat. So, some of the other things that they did, I mean, they just stepped up every single time. And they wanted it. They wanted to win. Right down to the very last out. We had bases loaded, and when that hit came through, everybody in the stands was like, we're tied. We're going to win this thing. I'm sure you guys back here was like, oh man, they just did it. And that girl come out of nowhere and snagged that ball and made a double play. So it's just one of those things that happen. Will they do it again? I don't know. It's up to these girls. It's up to the younger girls to want to do it too. I mean, you can't just let one group come through and then that's it. You got to want it every single year. Okay? So I don't have anything else. You guys got anything? Yeah, right. Hey, we thank you all for everything. We thank Tracy. Tracy was amazing throughout this whole season with us. So I just, my hats off to you. Thank you all for everything.
I appreciate what Richie said, but everyone here knows that you can't do nothing by yourself. I've got the absolute best people around me. There's absolutely no way that we could do half of what we do if it wasn't for the people around us. My OCD kicks in and they just go with it. I mean, I wanted to change this table because 2 tables had black legs and 1 had a gray leg. I mean, this stuff keeps me up at night. I can't sleep. I can't think. I typed this stuff up before you all ever played your last 4 games. I mean, I knew it was going to happen. I've read it. But again, I mean, you got Jeremy here all day cooking. You got Charlie. You got everybody on our board. There's nobody does it any better. I'll guarantee you that. But anyways, at this time, we'll go ahead and start eating. I want to start with the girls, obviously, and then we'll start with the families, and then everybody else just fill in behind you. But I thank everyone for coming out, and I can't applaud these girls enough. What they've done, they'll never forget. I mean, I remember playing regular season games down there that meant nothing, like it happened yesterday. So what they've done, nothing can take that from you, girls. So I appreciate everybody coming, and let's get something to eat.